Hey everyone, I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining me for 9 on the positive side. Let's get started in Summerfield with a story that might take you back. You've never played foosball until you play it with a Foosball Hall of Famer. Chad Tucker tried to get a lesson from this champ.
Well, I put my whole life into it.
Charles McIntosh is a fool for foosball. And that's a compliment.
That it's the ultimate combat between two people without them being able to touch each other.
Man, we have got them stymied, don't we?
This is the '85 World Championships.
For decades now, he's been making the shots and scoring the goals.
There we go.
Winning tournaments and taking home top titles.
Oh, that was a faster reading. Oh my gosh.
This was 96 state championship results. Foosball always starts with a coin toss, see who gets the ball first, and ends with a handshake. But between those two events is a war. Demoralizing, isn't it?
He loved the sport so much.
Good block.
He made a living out of it.
Good shot.
For me, it was a game that turned into a sport, it turned into a part-time business in college, and it became a career. Right there are 4 of the greatest players ever to play the game.
Foosball has been right there throughout his life.
It was one of the great matches of all time.
He met his wife while preparing a foosball table. And yes,
That's my wedding cake.
Wedding cake.
that's a foosball table on his wedding cake.
So did y'all have foosballs at your wedding?
No, we only had the cake. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to maneuver the ball so I can hit it toward the goal or advance it to my next row of players.
Yeah,
Is what takes practice.
There we go.
And as I learned from this Hall of Famer,
At least they hit the goal.
it's not the titles and wins, but the friendships made around the table.
Oh, we won the whole game?
But I truly loved it. I love the people. I never met a stranger. I loved everybody I dealt with and worked with.
In Summerfield,
I left foosball in a better place than I found it.
North Carolina,
I have seen this game change people's lives.
I'm Chad Tucker.
And my job was just to shepherd it along the way.
Every single person on the elephant team is super strong and able to handle the workload with no problem at all.
March is Women's History Month. Is a time to celebrate the accomplishments and vital roles of women at the North Carolina Zoo. Women are leading the way in their fields. Elephant keepers have one of the most physically demanding jobs here. And some are surprised to learn that 7 elephants that live at that zoo are cared for by 7 women. Women make up the majority of zookeepers here. They hold many of the top management positions too, including CEO. Interested in reading a book by a North Carolina author? The Onslow County Public Library has you covered. The American Association of University Women presented the library with copies of the 2021 Young People's Literature Award book, the award highlighting the work by Haley Gomez for her book, List of 10.
We love getting local authors, of course, in the collection for people to explore, and we certainly have a lot of really great local authors in North Carolina.
Gomez has won and been nominated for several other awards for her books geared towards young adults.
We've got a lot of amazing dogs right now and really need to find homes for them so we can save more. The shelter's opened up at New Wing and it's amazing, but they're packed full already and we really want to help them out.
Check this out. People gathering for the Pints for Paws pub crawl over the weekend. It started at a local Oak brewery, stopped at Tiebreakers, and finished at Naughty Dog Brewery. The goal, helping dogs get out of foster care and into forever homes. The event also raising money for Friends of the Pitt County Animal Shelter, a nonprofit supporting the Pitt County Animal Shelter's efforts. To a lot of people, the world selfie is nothing more than a social media phenomenon, but young entrepreneurs have made that the heart of an interesting business model that you're taking a look at right now. Selfie museums is what they call them, and they give visitors dozens of fun photo opportunities under one roof. As John Lee explains, the idea for one museum provided a picture of hope during the pandemic.
Just like that self-discovery.
In historic Mount Holly,
Tell me when.
some have discovered a modern way to improve their self-image.
Heads together. Heads together.
BFFs Six and Kensley planned a special outing at Candid Charlotte the Selfie Museum.
For my birthday, we're here to visit Charlotte.
It's really fun to see people enjoy what we create.
As owners Andy Wynn and Luke Almond explained, visitors are welcome to help them selfie to between 12 and 20 picturesque backdrops.
This one we can be on it together. Like our talk show or something.
Candid Charlotte provides the lighting to help you shine.
Lighting makes a huge difference.
In fact, you could even hire a photographer to snap some shots, but is that technically a selfie? And does anyone really care?
Being a photographer myself, I oftentimes find people loving the sets and end up realizing hey, I actually really look good in front of the camera.
Because every scene's different, so it's kind of a surprise every time you get to each scene.
The Selfie Museum concept here actually developed earlier in the pandemic. Andy and Luke each own Queen City area escape rooms that were forced to shut down for nearly 9 months because of COVID. So they put their heads together and started building sets for a new venture.
I used to do a lot of photography. Maybe this would be a pretty good idea, and I spoke to Andy, and Andy just loved the idea.
And that's how they got into the selfie game. It was kind of an escape from the struggles of their escape rooms. At first, they opened in a smaller location this past spring before finding this space in Mount Holly.
You can hold the milkshake and I'll just be here.
It was a little bit of a creative outlet for us.
Now they provide ideal backdrops for photos used in social media posts. And Charlotte says taking pictures from a lot of different angles is key, along with the amazing light, of course.
There you go. Here.
Although some never make it to Instagram.
We really are camera shy.
Now, camera shy is not the phrase we expected to
We
hear.
don't like to take it out in public where there's a lot of people walking by, so in here it's a lot more private.
Sounds like they've taken a little time for selfie analysis, and maybe that's why they needed a little me time with their iPhones. In Mount Holly, John Lee, Queen City News.
Ahead on 9 on the positive side, watch the heartwarming moment these two noticed their mom is back home. And a little later.
Would you like coleslaw, onion ring, or corn on the cob to go with this 2-piece with the fries?
There's a whole lot to sing about at a Popeyes in New Orleans. Meet Cynthia Carter and what she's adding to their menu. Two boys got what I think we could say will be one of their favorite memories, a homecoming surprise from their mom. Talia Quinn shows us their special reunion tonight.
We're excited to include you in a little bit of pumping ourselves up before spring break.
It's all about spirit this week at the Keystone Local School District.
And have our Wildcat mascot join us in the pump up.
Both the middle and elementary school got a special visit from the Wildcat.
Just walking around with the Wildcat.
After rounds of selfies and high fives, middle school principal Gina Gibson had a special announcement.
How about we give all of those people we know a round of applause who go and serve for our military.
Two students, Travis and Caden Melton, have a mom serving overseas in the Navy and were brought up to be recognized for their bravery and a photo with the mascot.
1 second, boys. Let me get my camera situated.
Underneath was the best person to lift their spirits.
All right, one final picture here. Mountains, can you give this Wildcat some love for me?
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
Welcome back home, logistics specialist Melton.
Back from her last deployment, Karen Melton got to return to her favorite job, being a mom.
When I saw their little faces look at me, it was like, ah.
The boys impressed by her skills in the mascot suit.
All those jumpy movements, you could say, it's kind of hard to expect that to be a mom.
The last time Karen saw her kids was in mid-August before her ship sailed for the Gulf and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, we did a little FaceTime here and there, but we didn't really have a lot of import time, so.
The boys moved from California for the year to stay with Grandma and Grandpa here in LaGrange.
I really missed her. Those times never, I couldn't just talk to her in person.
This homecoming surprise, a moment full of joy.
Oh, super happy. Super, super happy. It's like, there's no way to really describe it. It's just a lot of emotions flowing through it.
Such a sweet story. One mailman in Pennsylvania going above and beyond, putting a pause on his daily route to help a veteran. Levon Britt taking it upon himself to shovel Terry Halliday's steps, knowing Terry, a disabled veteran, couldn't do it as easily on her own. Terry shared a Facebook post about the act of kindness. The likes and shares went through the roof. While Britt says the community's response has been overwhelming in a good way, he'll tell you it's just all part of the job he does.
It's more than just delivering mail. You get to interact with people and, in this case, change people's lives.
I hope it actually gives other people the idea to help people.
And sticking with good deeds, one Minnesota veteran and TikTok star is spreading not only kindness, but also his giving spirit. He's now expanding to help others in need. David Schumann has his impact.
Hi. Hello.
I'm Patriotic Kenny.
Something very special is just moments away on this Zoom call. Vicky, a Navy veteran in Washington State, doesn't know the surprise she's about to receive or even the man she's speaking to. But her daughter does.
I love your videos. They're amazing.
1.6 million people feel the same way. Kenneth Jerry, a veteran from Willerny, goes by Patriotic Kenny on TikTok, where his heart-on-your-sleeve openness has proved irresistible.
Donated $5,000 for a scooter for you.
No, you're kidding.
When Kenny needed a new mobility scooter last year, the kindness of his followers came through and they raised money to buy him a new one.
I don't believe this.
But Kenny got more than a scooter. He gained a community.
Before I was struggling, I was alone, didn't have nobody, and it was a struggle, but now I just feel so much better.
That feeling is what he and his friend Amanda Klein are now sharing with veterans across the country. So back to Vicky.
Your daughter Jennifer, she nominated you, Vicky. You will be getting a mobility scooter, and God bless you with that, and I hope everything turns out.
Thank you guys so much.
Kenny and Amanda have gifted new scooters to more than 50 veterans.
It hits me so hard. I just got to break down and cry like I am now.
And he never forgets.
Vicky, I want to thank you for your service from the bottom of my heart.
In Willerny.
Thank you.
David Schumann.
This might be the world's biggest bowl of pasta. Ahead on 9 on the positive side, how much this pasta weighs, it actually might surprise you. And a little later.
I just knew that people would like this, so that's why I did it in all of my heart.
What a 7-year-old is doing to give Ukrainians a letter of hope. Welcome back. Here's a story that might make you laugh and smile. For 3 decades, food and music moved through a Popeye's drive-thru in New Orleans, Louisiana, thanks to one special worker. That drive lifted the spirit of customers around her. But now she may be about to retire from her big stage. Bill Wood introduces us to this worker and is sharing her special story.
When you drive through
roll with it, baby.
one Popeye's drive-through,
What kind of side I'm gonna drop it like it's hot?
a concert
In the coleslaw, onion ring, or corn on the cob? No, ma'am.
comes right into your car. She's got a great voice.
Yes, she does. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You get a front seat floor show
Number 6 gonna be spicy and mild.
from Cynthia Carter.
Are you ready, baby?
Cynthia is the drive-through diva.
Ooh!
She's been singing from her same New Orleans stage now.
Hey, Cynthia, when we ain't playing over.
Get this?
I said, who that baby?
For 30 years.
30 years. That's a lot of two-piece combos.
Spicy and mild.
Cynthia started singing 3 decades ago when somebody in line
Leg in the breast spicy. What side you gonna back that thing away?
in a car
Would you like to try our coleslaw onion rings?
started singing to her.
Come on, round peaches. Do you want to back that thing up with a drink? They said, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you've been singing ever since.
And I've been singing ever since.
She sings the whole menu.
Small mashed potatoes, small red beef, 1 large mac and cheese.
Side dishes down to desserts.
And you did good. How about the caramel apple pie?
From the car.
What does she sound like?
Yeah, 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 yeah. She sound like Patty LaBelle.
She's the Popeyes Patty LaBelle.
1535. Okay. And what kind of side I'm gonna make that thing over here?
What's better, her voice or the Popeyes chicken?
Hot bars, baby. One Diet Coke to go. Hot bars.
No need to read what's cooking.
Small green beans, small red beans.
Just listen to the lullaby
With a biscuit.
of the lady who makes fried chicken.
Good on it here.
Fine dining.
And you did good. And you did too, baby.
Also in New Orleans is the world's biggest bowl of pasta. It's so big it actually takes a New Orleans hotel ballroom to serve it. The recipe takes, get this, 500 pounds of pasta, 150 gallons of gravy, or what they call sauce, and 50 pounds of Parmesan on top. New York chef David Greco is responsible for all of this.
You are Leonardo da Vinci, and this is your Mona Lisa moment.
This is my masterpiece with the St. Joseph sawdust, and we're going to enjoy pasta con le sarde in New Orleans today.
The bowl for the pasta is 8 feet long. Greco says history is the main ingredient for this recipe. Ice cream and pizza lovers, here's something that might be for you or maybe not. In the latest installment of Bizarre Ice Cream Flavors, Van Leeuwen is out with a pizza pie inspired ice cream. It's made from a cream cheese and mozzarella base with tomato jam swirls and basil crust cookies. I don't know how I feel about that one. You can find the pizza pints at local Walmarts. Letters for Ukraine. Next, meet the little girl with a huge heart and what she's doing to support the people in their country. A child in Michigan is writing letters of support to Ukrainian refugees. Gabrielle Pfeiffer has more.
A young girl driven by her passion to help a country devastated by weeks of attacks.
Ukraine is being harmed and we need to calm them down. And I just wish that Russia wasn't harming them, and that's why I'm here.
Brooklyn Island had an idea to send messages of love to the people of Ukraine. She heard about what those families were going through and was adamant about providing some relief.
I just knew that people would like this, so that's why I did it and followed my heart.
No one's driving this. No one is feeding her words or any of that. This is what God has put into her heart, and she is sure about it, and she is confident about it.
Brooklyn has invited friends in her community to help write out cards and draw pictures of support, but they're not the only people she's reached out to.
She also wrote a letter to the president and to the vice president to encourage them to care and to take action in a thoughtful way.
Denise Kingdom Greer is the pastor of mobilization and renewal at Mars Hill Bible Church in Grandville. She's helping Brooklyn and the other kids her age host a rally at the park.
And so we have children who are going to be prepared to pray, and we have children that are going to manage the card table.
The cards will be delivered to Romania, where thousands of Ukrainians are seeking shelter. Brooklyn hopes parents will bring their kids out to send these letters of hope and peace.
You should join us because it's about showing love to others.
Reporting in Grand Rapids, Gabrielle Pfeiffer, News 8.
Such a sweet thing to do, and that's all the time we have for this weekend. But of course, we have one last thing to show you, these baby turtles being released. Have a great day, everyone.